Hey everybody, I'm Meagan Hatcher-Mays, Director of Democracy Policy at Indivisible and the host of Impeachment Daily, which will not stop bringing you daily impeachment recaps just because Donald Trump is getting impeached today. And that's because Impeachment Daily exists to demystify the impeachment process and let you know how you can stay involved in this fight. Yes, Donald Trump is getting impeached in the House today. In fact, by the time you watch this, he may well have already been impeached. And that happened because millions of us have been absolutely horrified by just how swiftly Donald Trump corrupted the office of the presidency after being sworn in 2017. Trump has been committing impeachable offenses basically since day one, and that's why we're all in this fight together. And last night, the night before the final vote on impeachment in the House, you all showed the hell up. 200,000 people hit the streets in all 50 states and the District of Columbia at over 600 different events. Why? Because we care about democracy and because we care about accountability, not just in big cities, but in rural areas too. We saw you out there. And today, the House of Representatives is taking its final step towards holding Donald Trump constitutionally accountable for his impeachable conduct. Remember, he's being charged with 2 different articles of impeachment. The first is he abused his power when he tried to pressure Ukraine into digging up dirt on the Bidens to interfere with our elections. Trump withheld about $400 million in aid unless Ukraine agreed to this interference scheme. This was not a legitimate foreign policy objective. This was Donald Trump demanding a personal political favor from a foreign government. That was a blatant abuse of power, and it's an impeachable offense. Then, when Trump realized he had been caught, he tried to cover it up. He decided to release the aid money, but in an attempt really just to cover up the fact that he had withheld it in the first place. He directed his aides to come up with a legal justification for holding up that money, but only after he had already done it. And then Trump refused to turn over any evidence to the congressional committees who were investigating this corruption, and he demanded that his aides defy subpoenas that were lawfully issued by those committees. Congress has the constitutional authority to investigate the executive branch, the president. When the president refuses to comply with a lawful investigation, that's the second article of impeachment. That's obstruction of Congress, and that's an impeachable offense. Donald Trump deserved to be impeached for all of that and a lot more. He has no business serving as president of the United States. But now it's up to the Senate to decide whether or not Trump should actually be removed from office. They are going to be the ones holding a trial in the Senate. Ideally, that trial would be a full airing of the evidence against the president, and senators would ultimately vote to acquit or convict based on the evidence they hear. Now, Senate Democrats seem to be taking this duty pretty seriously. A couple of days ago, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York sent a letter to Mitch McConnell outlining his proposal for a fair trial. It was a good letter from Schumer and included a series of very reasonable requests like, hey, we should hear from John Bolton and Mick Mulvaney. Those 2 guys have been defying subpoenas. They work for Donald Trump, but they have direct knowledge of Trump's misconduct in Ukraine. You know, Schumer here is asking for very normal stuff like, let's hold an actual trial where we hear from actual witnesses. He urged Mitch McConnell to do impartial justice and agree to these fair trial rules. Now, you and I both know Mitch McConnell is no good. He's not a reasonable guy. He isn't interested in engaging in a fair process. He is a power-mad cheater who can't win on substance, so he rigs the rules in his favor. And now he's doing the same thing to help Donald Trump cover up his misconduct. McConnell got that letter from Chuck Schumer and pretty much outright rejected it. He called it a strange request from Senator Schumer. Is it? Because during Bill Clinton's impeachment trial in 1999, McConnell said, it's not unusual to have a witness in a trial. It's certainly not unusual to have a witness in an impeachment trial. Oh, but now it's a strange request. Here's the worst part. McConnell has also just outright admitted he's not impartial. He straight up said, I'm not impartial about this at all. And that's why he's become an accomplice in Trump's scheme and this cover-up. Mitch McConnell cares more about keeping the most corrupt president in United States history in office than he does about this country. And that's why Mitch McConnell has said, everything I do during this impeachment trial, I'm coordinating with the White House. There will be no difference between the president's position and our position as to how to handle this. And he also said, we'll be working through this process in total coordination with the White House. That is a stunning abdication of duty. He is admitting that this process will be a sham, and he's admitting that he's colluding with the defendant to rig the outcome. What a travesty for our country. This is the part where I tell you how to stay involved, and this is a critical moment to stay in this fight. If you are as horrified as I am about what Mitch McConnell is doing, then this is no time to take your foot off the gas. Yes, we've impeached Donald Trump in the House, but now we need to focus completely on the Senate. Keep calling your senators and demanding that they not participate in this Trump cover-up. Demand that they agree to a fair and open trial as outlined by Senator Schumer in his letter. And if they don't listen to you, let's make sure they know there will be consequences for engaging in this cover-up with Donald Trump. So call them, 202-224-3121. Great work. Keep up the fight, and I'll see you tomorrow.